G'day and welcome to the Game Day Squad Fantasy Cricket Show. I'm Dill, that's Stu, and that is Haz, and we are the Fantasy Bros. Thank you everyone for tuning in as we go live to start the Big Bash season. Boys, it has been a massive preseason. It's been super long. Gone through 8 team previews and our top 10 ranking videos, but look, it is nothing like being live, dusting off those recorders, the cameras to the microphones, and jumping in studio so that we can get around some Big Bash cricket and hopefully give out some unreal prizes today. Not only that, so obviously you build your squads for Game Day Squad, and there are some massive cash and pack prizes as well to be won. Stu, mate, welcome. Thanks for joining us. What can our viewers and listeners expect on our live shows this season?
Yeah, g'day Dill, g'day Haz, and g'day everyone. Thanks for tuning in. We've got Mel in the chat as always. G'day Mel. We've got a couple of new faces. Obviously, Dill, you and I did a lot throughout the rugby league season, and we sort of had our regulars during those live shows. But it's nice to see some names that we haven't really seen in the Fantasy Bros streams. We've got Maxi. G'day Maxi. Thanks for tuning in. TCB, he's here. So is Izzy. And Izzy and a few of the others were joining us in the bingo just before, and wasn't that a cracker? So if you're not currently on the Game Day Squad Discord server, jump over there as soon as you can, because next time bingo happens, you're going to want to get involved because it went nuts. Haz will probably share a little bit of info about that soon because he absolutely cleaned up. Yeah, boys, look, coming to our viewers most Mondays and Thursdays, I think that's when most of the Oz cricket rounds kick off. So a bit of familiarity there for our coaches is really good. So most Mondays, most Thursdays are when the new round kicks off, and our live show will preview all of the fixtures in that round, or sometimes there's a double round when there's not too much of a turnaround. So for example, tonight we're going to preview round 1, which kicks off in less than an hour, so we better get rolling. And we'll also preview round 2. Look, in those live preview shows, we're going to tell you all of our favourite picks in the keeper and batsman position, the all-rounder and bowler positions as well. We're going to share our Fantasy Bros consensus 11 for the round, and a lot of you will be keen to see who we want to be rolling out in our team, so make sure you stay tuned for that. We've also got Throwdown Showdown, of course, that continues once again, where the viewers can win some pretty handy prizes simply for picking which bro they think is going to win the showdown each round. So stay tuned and make sure you get your comments rolling in when that happens.
Yeah, g'day boys, g'day viewers. That's right, you definitely do not want to miss that. New users, you can still sign up using our Game Day Squad promo code SUMMER, SUMMER, all capital letters, to get 3 3-player common packs, as well as a whole heap of bronze cards to get your free-to-play starter team rolling before round 1 commences in just under an hour's time. All right, Dill, we've got a lot to get through tonight before the first ball is bowled in the Scorchers vs Sixers season opener.
Yeah, mate, that's right, Haz. Before we do, though, welcome to the live stream. I know you've sort of jumped on a couple of times for a little bit, but officially your first run on a live stream. So good luck, mate. Hope everything goes well. No one remembers what we said until they go and rewatch it back tomorrow. So you should be all right at least tonight. All righty, yeah, we're going to jump in and we're going to preview tonight's match as well as our round 2 fixtures. So because we've got them back to back, we're going to jump straight in. Remember, round 1, it is a double prize round, so you do not want to miss out on that straight up. There's a bit of rain around, which we're going to talk about a little bit, but the Game Day Squad boys have done a massive favour, and if the game is rained out, then all of those prizes do go to the final round, round 17 of the fixtures. So that's an unreal way for Game Day Squad to give back. Look, before we kick off and get into some of our thoughts around players, look, we've been spruiking it all last couple of weeks. Let's jump into our giveaway. We've got some prizes to give away today. So let's have a look at the first pack that we're going to give away. On screen, you can see that pack. We've got a couple of gold players there. We've got a Stephen Smith, Dan Sams, and then my man, who I think is going to be absolute unreal, Marley Beardman. So let's get the wheel up. And look, I'm going to, in advance, if this crashes the stream, sorry. It is a mighty wheel. Right now, my screen is quite slow because of it. So hopefully we're able to. Let's see if we can get this rolling. I don't know if we're going to be able to see it here. Here we go. Let's see if we've got it.
Here
Apologies
we
in
go.
Here we
advance.
go. Whoa, that's a lot
See
of
it? Here we go. Here we got it.
We got it.
Okay, here we go. All right. Okay, let's spin the wheel. So that first pack, so we've got the Daniel Sam, Steve Smith, and Marley Beardman Golds. Oh, mighty pack we've got going on here. We're going to kick it off, and it is going to be Mel's Misfits.
Oh, congrats, Mel.
Mel's Misfits. Real. All right, let's shake the board up a little bit now. Let's give it a shuffle. Alrighty, the second pack that we draw, that is another set of gold players we've got, again, will be massive tonight. Sam Curran and then Sammy well. Alrighty, let's spin this wheel.
G'day, Mian. No, I haven't missed too much, mate. Just missed the first wheel spin. Mel won a couple of handy golds there. So let's see who's going to win the second pack.
And then straight up, winning that second pack. Congratulations. So those cards will be coming out to you. Just make sure you hit us up on Discord, and we will get those cards to you as possible. Anyone that wants those cards given to them before the start of the round, make sure you get to us as quick as possible. Alrighty. Okay, let's jump into round one fixture, boys. Look, as I said, the Scorchers up against the Sixers. There's a bit of rain around potentially. I'm just having a look at Bomb right now, and I know that Bomb might not be as reliable, but it looks like there's a bit of thunderstorms potentially happening there. So we'll have to hold our breath and see if the toss is delayed. But if it isn't, let's jump in and let's have a quick chat round two, and we'll maybe circle back around to round. Look, the key venue stats for me, the Optus Stadium last season, all players averaged 36 GDS points, which had them ranked 5th in that stadium, which is about mid-tier. But the key stats for me, second innings batsmen were only able to average 25-2, while our second innings bowling and all-rounders had a massive performance of 47.6 and 48.3. Obviously, going off, it doesn't necessarily tell a story, but if you want to be targeting maybe the second innings bowlers, that's probably something to focus on, as well as a couple of those all. So kind of hoping that the Scorchers win the toss and bat first so that we can target some an all-rounder options there for the Scorchers as well as their batting lineup.
Yeah, it definitely seems like.
Alrighty, so let's jump across to round two.
They're going to have a bat first, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll have a look at that, and we'll come back. As I said, we'll circle back to that Perth Scorchers game once those teams are released and we know who's batting first. Into round two, we've got 3 fixtures there. We've got the Renegades up against the Mighty Heat, and look, that's at Geelong Stadium, and Geelong Stadium actually is quite conducive to some decent points, particularly for the bowlers. Second innings bowlers averaged 45.75 last season. Sorry, batters averaged 47.75. The bowling lineups in innings actually averaged 51 GDS points. So again, looking for maybe the Heat to be bowling second. Decent bowling options in Afridi and maybe a Xavier Bartlett into your squad. Heading into that second game for the round, we've got the Thunder up against the Hurricanes down at any rain around there. And the key stats for me is the first innings batting average is actually as low as 27.45, and it's the first innings all-rounders that take the cake. It's 45 point last season. The average, though, for that stadium, 33.8, boys, the second last in terms of GDS points at a venue. Potentially not targeting that as too much. Again, obviously, story, it doesn't tell the whole story, but maybe be looking elsewhere in rounds, picking up 1 or 2 Thunder players. Where you're thinking, Stu, so far?
Oh, mate, there's a couple of locks there for the Hobart Hurricanes team that I think we're pretty popular in round 2. I don't think many of us can go past Mitchie Owen after seeing how good he was at home last season. There's a reason why the all-rounder stats there are really high down at that in Hobart because of how good he was really with the bat and didn't do too much with the ball or in the field. But yeah, obviously he was unbelievable. So yeah, I'll probably be looking to target a few other matches because that is kind of scary there, some of those stats. But yeah, I think probably Mitchie Owen and Nathan Ellis. I think even Timmy David, a few boys that are going to be able to swing the willow over the fence or get some wickets at the back end. Yeah, I'm big fans of the Hobart Hurricanes again this season.
Real. And then into that third game of the round, the Sixers up against the Strikers. So Sixers have a quick turn. They are at the SCG there, though, so they're back home on home soil. A couple of key stats. Average is 38 points. That is the third best for any stadium, so definitely a match to target. And it's the all-rounders that I think be targeting. First innings all-rounders 43.5 and the second innings all-rounders 41. Does that mean that you're probably looking at maybe the Strikers double all-rounders, or maybe do you have to select one of them?
Yeah, I definitely think the Strikers double this week, and even potentially the Sixers double as well with Dorcius and Edwards could be good shouts this week. I think the Strikers double definitely be in my team, and I think I'm going to have to try and pick the Sixers guy that's going to go best, and then that might be based on tonight's performance. So probably I'll wait and see, but right now I think all four of them are going to be in contention for my side next week.
Yeah, and we're pretty lucky to be able to have a bit of a glimpse into what the Sixers might line up like in a couple of days' time. There's obviously been some around, and we've heard a few whispers that maybe Lockie Shaw might be opening for the Sixers. So that'd be unreal to see Lockie Shaw at the top there, and then also maybe donning the gloves. Alrighty, before we jump, let's give away some more packs, some more cards, shall we? And then let's have a chat about some of the players that we're going to target. So the next three packs that we are giving away, the next two packs that we're giving away is gold players of Billings, Jackson, and the GOAT of Game Day squad, Matty Short. So let's see if we can get the massive wheel back on. We had an opportunity to get up to 12 entries into the giveaway. So when you are spun, you still have another opportunity to get more prizes as well. So thank you to everyone that supported us in the preseason, watching our preview videos, and then also downloading the BBL textbook. All right, here we go. We're getting it on screen. How are we looking here, boys?
Yeah, it's up.
Yeah, we got it.
Unreal. All right, let's shuffle a couple more times and let's spin that wheel. Peter Quicksilver. I think that's the big boys over on Discord. Always congratulations, Peter Silver, mate. Well done. We'll get those guards out to you ASAP. All right. And then we've got our second gold pack, which is Hussein Peak Kane Richardson. Another pack here. All righty, here we go. Let's shuffle one more.
We've got some inside information here, some inside info. Our very own Hal is reporting from Perth locals that there's some thunder and rain about. Oh no, exactly what we did not want to hear.
No. And while we're going through that, Maxi, good on you, Maxi. I believe you're in the chat. Done, mate. You have secured yourself those three gold players of Hussein, Ollie Peak. I think going to have a massive season, and then old Richo as well. Congratulations, mate. We got plenty way though, so make sure you stick around. Let's jump into some of our previews for round two. Potentially also having a look at a couple of round one players. Let's jump into the bat wicket-keeper position. And Stu, who are you thinking about targeting from some of the players that are on screen? We've got Josh Philippi, Timmy David, Rizwan, I think might have a big role to play this week, and Bubba Azam. Who are you looking at targeting?
Yeah, so obviously this is for round two. There's no Perth players on screen. They're playing tonight, obviously, in about 45 minutes. So we're hoping that the toss will get underway upon scheduled time, but if there is some thunder and lightning about, that may be delayed. So if you're currently sitting there in the chat and refreshing maybe the Crick Info website, and you can update us with any info, that would be great. So if we're not talking about any Perth players in these little segments, the reason is we're just waiting till those round one team lists are announced. But yeah, look, for me, the bat or wicketkeeper to target for round 2 will be Timmy David. And look, I've talked about him a number of times throughout the preseason, so I'm not going to hop off him or the Kane train just yet. Look, I'm not sure, boys, how many times I've watched that YouTube highlights of his back-to-back 57 and 98 not out in the T10 knockout and then final in Abu Dhabi a couple of weeks back. He then went straight over to, I think it was the UAE, to play in the ILT20 for the Warriors. He scored a 60 in his very first game before he had a couple of down performances with just 13 and 19 with the bat. But look, that's something that we're going to have to become accustomed to with GameDay Sport and the bat position. If they get a really good ball and they're not a bowler or getting 4 catches or 5 catches in a match, they're not going to get very many points. But so that position is going to be almost rocks and diamonds. But Tim David's been proving in the last 6 or 8 months, whether it's for club teams or for his country, he can put on some big scores and can do it back-to-back as well. So, look, I don't want to miss out on a big Tim David score. For me, him getting the 13 and the 19 is actually fantastic. He's got to have a down sort of slump at some point, and I'm just happy he's got that out of his system already. So maybe he'll get back to Aussie shores and he'll be ready to go nuts from game 1 now that he remembers what it's like to score below 30. I think he went 12 or 13 matches in a row with 30 being his lowest score in T10 or T20 matches, which is insane. So, yeah, look, the bat position is going to be really volatile, but with the form he's in, there's no way I can leave him out of my 11. And particularly when those square boundaries in Hobart are just 70 metres, he is going to absolutely lick his lips. I just hope they don't save him for too late in the innings and say, here's 30 balls, go nuts. I want him in there for as long as possible. So big eyes on the team sheet. Timmy David, lock and load for me.
Yeah, unreal. Before we get to Haz, just having a look at the Crick Info website and across on the commentary, Channel 7 has just put up a post on X of the big screen at the Optus Stadium with the severe weather lightning warning and asking all people in the evacuate the seating bowl. So that's not good news at the moment. We're still, like you say, about 45 minutes from the start of the game. And I believe, what do we need? 5 overs per side for it to be counted as a full game, I believe. So
Correct.
We'll have to wait and see how we go there.
Cal, yeah.
Already we can see on screen.
Still trying to get that All-Star Connolly off me.
What happened to it? Have you still got it, or
big,
have you gotten rid of it?
A trade has been completed. I can say that.
Put him out of his misery.
I'll keep the details of the trade to myself.
For those not in the know, that Miss Bingo earlier over on the Discord stage has pulled a double Cooper Conley All-Star from 3-player pack. So unreal pull there, 2 Cooper Conley All-Stars. And obviously he had about 1,000 DMs that he had to sift through to find the best deal possible. Alrighty, talking about yourself, Haz, who are you looking at targeting for that bat wicketkeeper position in round 2?
Yes, as like we've been talking about, this is obviously for round 2. And I think if round 1 is to get underway and we get a glimpse of Bubba Azam, I think he'll probably get a chance to, get the cobwebs off and play under Aussie shores. And come round 2, I think he's going to be ready to go. I think he might just be the most hyped international signing the Big Bash has ever seen, and rightfully so. Stu, you ran through Azam's brilliance on the global stage during our Sixers preview, but just to remind everyone some of those stats, he averages 40 across 134 T20 internationals and has 40 scores of 50 or more, showcasing his elite talent. I fully expect him to bring all that class and experience straight to the top of the Sixers batting lineup this season. He's expected to open the batting at his home ground, the SCG, against the Strikers, and that matchup could not be better. Last season, the SCG allowed the most GDS points to batsmen of any venue at an average of 41.5 points per game. On top of that, the Strikers conceded the second most GDS points to batsmen last year at 37.1 GDS points per game. Baba's Big Bash stint may be cut short due to Pakistan's sudden impromptu tour of Sri Lanka in early January, but my gut feeling is he won't want to leave Aussie shores without putting up a big score or 2 in those 4 or 5 games he's likely to play. And the strikers are certainly that perfect matchup for a player of his caliber. I can't wait to watch him in the BBL because he's a true technician and master of his craft and one of the most elegant white ball batters in the world. And for that reason, he'll be in my teams every time he's playing this BBL season.
Yeah, I completely agree. And yeah, I guess you touched on in the middle there, just that surprising random T20 series that Sri Lanka decided to announce just at the middle of the competition. Sorry, that Pakistan decided to announce to Sri Lanka in the middle of the competition. Just throws a bit of a spanner in works for a lot of those Pakistani players that we were keen on. So have a big season before he heads off elsewhere. Look, the player that I'm targeting, particularly for round 2, is Josh. Been a lot of conversation and around that he has, whether it's a batsman only, whether he's still got the gloves or not. So it'll be interesting to see what happens, hopefully in the next 45 minutes or so. But I think he's really got to go big against the strikers at the SCG in round 2. At this time, we don't know if he's got the gloves. Hopefully we'll know very soon. But that I don't think that phases me at all. I think we go back to last season and have a look at what he did with bat and what he did with gloves, and I don't really feel like he had an opportunity to really find that form in either aspect of scoring, and he really struggled at times. He did average 40 points at SCG compared to 35.5 away from home. So there's obviously a benefit there. Heading to SCG for their second game, potentially has an opportunity to do well. And look, all of this may go out the window if he goes out there this afternoon, this evening, and if there is a to score scorches and he gets out for peanuts. But look, we just never know what might happen. And obviously that the word around, as I said, that there's Lockie Shaw at the top of the order, which might mean that at third, in that first drop, which we saw in that preseason game that they played last week. And he had a pretty good outing there. I think he had about 80 runs. So he from himself coming in at first drop. So look, if we can see that something like that again in that form, then I'm all on Flip. Last season, the strikers allowed the second most points to all batsmen as well, and then the third most to the bat wicket-keeper position. So definitely someone that I'm targeting based on the numbers last season. The strikers, similar lineups, obviously a couple of changes. We can't always write home about the previous season, but those are the sort of stats I'm working on at the moment until we have some stats from this season. The other thing that I really like is the strikers allowed an average of 46.6 GDS points to wicket keepers last season. So if Flip does find his way back to the top of the order and does open, particularly against the strikers, he's got a really good opportunity there. And I like that flexibility that we can play him as our wicket keeper or we can move back position. So a bit different to other formats. GameDay squad allows us that opportunity to play the wicketkeeper in either section. So yeah, for me at the moment, I'm targeting Josh Philippe for round 2, and I'm just going to do a little wait for round 1 based on where Shaw comes out. And I feel like at this stage, as you've just mentioned in the chat there, Stu, we're going to have a bat flip anytime soon.
Yeah, which is dangerous for a couple of reasons. Number one, the lockout timer for GameDay squad won't change, everyone. So for those of you in the live stream, here's a reminder that just because we don't have a bat flip doesn't mean the lockout timer is going to change. In fact, when that clock ticks to 6:15, the players you've got in your squad are going to be locked out. So sometimes we have to go in blind into the opening fixture for the round. So while the game might go ahead, we may not have that news of who's going to be in the team until it's obviously too late. We can't make any changes. So, Dill, that's a pretty nice segue. I think you spoke a lot about Josh Philippe, and he's got to be in all of my teams I'm rolling out. But yeah, there's some big thoughts around potentially rolling out Lockie Shaw as well. Is it a bit risky to do so if the game does go ahead, but we don't get any team info before lockout? Would you roll both Philippe and Lockie Shaw? And how about we have a bit of a chat now, boys, about game 1, just for a few minutes, and then maybe fingers crossed and try to get some team announcements shortly. But yeah, what do we think there, Has? I'll start with you, mate. Philippe and Shaw, or a bit too risky?
I think it's probably a bit too risky, and I think I'm basing my decision on their warm-up match. I think Azam opened the batting with Dan Hughes and Philippe came in at 3. And I think if they're going to do that in a warm-up match. I don't think they're going to change that for the first game. So yeah, there are some rumors around, but I don't think without that certainty, I would be naming Lockie Shaw in my team unless he was named on that team list.
Yeah, I agree. And the other thing probably to consider, sorry there, Stu, the other thing to consider is that if the game is shortened and we've only got, say, 7 or 8 overs each, 10 overs each, that there obviously is out there. So that might play into the hand of Lockie Shaw. It might not. I'm not quite sure yet how that would play. But even still, if they name a lineup and it's reduced to 7 or 8 overs, I think that lineup is pretty fluid. I don't think we can really bank on that lineup being too set either. So yeah, for me, just a simple keep it as it is, unless we get a pretty solid word that Shaw's opening the batting. All right, Mian G Gaming, unreal. Thanks for joining us, buddy. You've got a question here. Will Murphy start? Look, it's touch and go. There's obviously a lot of injuries around the Sixers, and the Perth deck, when it's not raining, is actually quite hard and fast, and obviously more conducive to the quick. So I think it's just going to be a wait and see for us. I'm not really sure which way the Sixers are going to go. Even still, if Murphy is named, I don't feel like I would be playing him at the moment. I'd be looking at some of the other quicks. But this rain obviously has caused a bit of havoc as well. Stu, in terms of batsmen then, we've gone through some of the key wicket keepers that we might be playing. Does this then change your preference around some of the batsmen that you want to play in this game with the likelihood that we're going to have reduced overs?
No, I think it even solidifies the likes of Babar Azam, Josh Philippe, Finn Allen. I know they're going to be pretty popular, 3 starts, but alongside Cooper Connolly for the 4 spots in the battering and wicket-keeper position. But it's those 4 blokes that probably entrusted alongside, Hardy and Mitch Marsh for the Scorchers to go out there and go blazing from ball 1 and sort of not have to get into the innings and build an innings. If we are only seeing 10, 12, 15 overs, you want these blokes that can go hard from ball 1, and that's exactly what Philippe, Babar Azam, Cooper Connolly, and Finn Allen can do. A lot of them are 360-degree players. We saw Finn Allen's positive start to last season. Let's hope he can hang around for a few more balls, but he knows one way and he goes one way, and he goes hard as well. So yeah, if we're gonna have a shortened game, I just think it's even easier to lock in those blokes that we know are the power hitters. We don't know. We haven't seen too much of Lockie Shaw. I don't know if they'll drop him down a little bit if he's sort of that guy that they want to graft an innings about, knock the ball around and get some of the big hitters on strike. And we might not see the likes of him. We might see even a Dwarshuis, a Hayden Kerr, some of these types of guys put up the order in pursuit of some quick runs if the match is shortened. So yeah, look, we haven't even started one game into the season, boys, and we've already got all of these what ifs and what can happen. So you wouldn't want it any other way, would you? A summer of cricket, we're over to Perth. We should have a fantastic game 1, but now we've got all of these severe weather warnings, and we're going in blind just about because we're probably not going to get that bat flip anytime soon.
And I've just read that it's the first time the covers have ever been used at Perth for a Big Bash game. So that's a good way to start the 15th iteration of the Big Bash. Alrighty, let's move on, and let's hope we can get some more good news a little bit later on. So let's jump into our all-rounders that we're going to target. And look, we've got a few up there, and there's obviously some big names in that all-rounder position. And for us, we're obviously looking at the likes of Dwarshuis, Jack Edwards, Mitchie Owen, obviously the big name there as well, Dan Sams, Matt Shaw, and Jamie Overton. And there's plenty of opportunity here. Are you leaning for one of the key all-rounders in round 2?
Yeah, look, I think the bat wicket position is going to be pretty straightforward across most players. I think there's going to be a lot of variety in the 4 all-rounders that will be rolling out. So I'm really interested to hear your takes as well, boys. But for me, I know Haz is pretty big on his Sixers all-rounders. And look, I am too. And I think Benny Dwarshuis is going to be the man for this round, alongside potentially some of those Adelaide players. I think if you're going for Jackie Edwards above Ben Dwarshus, you might be sleeping on the number one Sixers AR at the moment, boys. I think. Oh, well, I might have to eat my words if Edwards does come out at number 3, opens the bowling and gets the 20th over as well, which is definitely possible. But look, I'm putting all of my eggs, or Christmas presents, I guess, since it's the holiday season, in the Benny Dwarshus basket for rounds 1 and 2. Like I said, if it is a shortened match, it wouldn't surprise to see him come out and blast a few toward the end there, but he's probably going to be trusted with that ball early on. It'll swing. It'll favour his bowling, and he'll probably get the last one as well. So, yeah, I wish he was a bowler for Game Day squad. That would be ideal, but he's an all-rounder. But I don't think that really matters. I think he's going to get plenty of points with the ball, and any runs with the bat will be pretty handy as well. He's a lock to bowl all 4 overs if we do get the 20 overs per match. And given it's likely to be shortened tonight, he should still see the maximum, whether that's 2 or 3. So he's always that chance of, sort of cheap wickets at the end of an innings, or, if the Sixers bat first and put on a big score and the Scorchers are in a bit of a hole, or even, the same sort of situation happens in round 2. That's when I love Benny Dwarshus picking up a few key wickets of the bowlers at the end of an innings where they just try to hit him over the fence, but he's a little bit too clever for that. So, yeah, look, round 1 might not get a massive score if it's a shortened match, but round 2, he's probably one of the top 2 or 3 all-rounders for me. And I just love that 3-dimensional role that he offers, particularly with bat and ball, and he's okay in the field as well. So, yeah, massive Benny Dwarshus for me, and it just so happens I've got an all-star Ben Dwarshus to make things even sweeter.
Mate, all-star you don't have now?
I'll get back to you. Not sure.
Love it. Alrighty, Stu mentioned, that you're big on a couple of Sixers. Who are you looking at targeting as your all-rounder?
I think I've been big on Jack Edwards pretty much all preseason, and I think you have been as well, Dill. But with all this chatter around Lockie Shaw, is he going to open the batting? They kind of threw a spanner in the works in the practice match as well. Like, I didn't expect Dan Hughes to come out and open with Bubba Azam. Like, I just thought it was a Philippi and Azam opening combo, lock it in, and then Edwards might come in at 3. But with all this uncertainty around Edwards' position, I'm getting less and less keen as we go on, which is a bit of a shame because I do really like his role at the Sixers. I'm so unsure of where he's going to come out to bat in round 1 and also round 2 if we're potentially not going to get a chance to see him with this shortened game tonight. So why I was keen on him, Sean Abbott is unavailable for round 1 and is likely going to be out for round 2. And I think that Sixers are going to really rely on Edwards to bowl his full 4 overs alongside Benny Dwarshus. There's every chance he takes that new ball, like you mentioned, Sean, and even potentially gets an over during that surge, which significantly boosts his wicket-taking potential. SEG allowed the 4th most points to all-rounders last season at 43.3 GDS points per game, helping his case. The only real concern, as I mentioned, is that position in the batting order. With Flip coming in at 3 in the preseason warm-up match, I just don't know where Edwards is going to fall, whether that's 5, potentially even 6, with Enriquez being that lock at number 4. Saying that, though, Edwards is a man in form, and if the Sixers do decide to reshuffle after round 1 and give him that number 3 role, he could be one of the highest scorers of the round. The strikers conceded a massive average of 88 GDS points to batters coming in at first drop last season, the most in the competition by about 40-odd points. However, even if he doesn't get that ideal number 3 spot, I still think he'll probably see enough time in the middle to score well. And I think his bowling role alone makes him a pretty strong play this week. So I'm keen on Jack Edwards, but I would like to see some play tonight to get an idea on where he would be coming into that team.
That's exactly right. You want to see what the Sixers are thinking. I know, we go back to last season and have a look at some of Jack Edwards' unreal opportunities that he got, potentially opening the bowling at times as well. I know there was one game last season that was rained out 2 in the first over, and then unfortunately didn't get the points because the game was washed out. But if he's got that sort of strike power with the ball, and then he's able to come in and bat at 3 or as high as 3, I think he's an ideal shout for that all-rounder spot. But we've got so many great options and a lot of question marks over quite a few players, and I don't think many of them are going to get answered, unfortunately. For me, as we said, there's 5 or 6 elite options, and for round 2 coaches, they're going to be sitting there scratching their head. Do they play both strikers all rounders, as I posed to you at the start there, Has, or are they going to leave one out? And we know that most coaches, or pretty much all coaches, are going to flock to Matty Short. I think that's pretty much a guarantee, and it makes me think Jamie Overton might be someone out of some side. And he could be an absolute premium pod for so many people. And look, when we talk about pod, we're talking about a point of difference, and that's potentially playing someone that might not be highly owned. So if you are new to the stream, pod refers to a point of difference. And look, last season the Sixers were super vulnerable to all-rounders as well. So I really like what Jamie Overton might offer. They were giving up an average of 48.4 GDS points per game, which has them actually ranked number 1 for most points to all-rounders allowed for that position. So, and then we dive deeper into that all-rounder stats, and we can see all-rounders that came out to bat 4 through to 7 did all the damage, scoring an average of 60 GDS points across the season. Overton, likely he's going to come out at 6 or 7. We saw that a couple of times last season. He sort of went in those 2 spots. So I think more than likely again, and for me, I think that's just ideal. If he can get the 4 overs that we know we get from Overton, and he also comes out at 6 and blasts a big score, I think it's going to be wheels up for anyone that does take that punt on him, and it's just going to be that's hopefully that risky play, and it comes off. I think the big thing as well is we saw him score 86 GDS points against them last season, so I expect more of the same again from Jamie Overton, and I wouldn't be complaining if a point of difference player can get 50 plus GDS points at the end of the day. If you've got someone that is sort of, not owned by as many coaches and you can get that 50 points, I think you're pretty happy with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Sorry, yeah, you go.
No, you're right, Shu, you go.
No, you're up, Has. I'm going to segue shortly.
All right, I was going to say he's probably not going to be a pod for me, Dealer. I definitely think he's going to be in my round 2 team now that I have his all-star after bingo. So that's all I'm going to say.
Yes, that is right. I think if you've got an all-star card, it's pretty hard to leave out of your squad, isn't it? You just got to determine which squad you're going to put him in. Yeah, boys, look, I think Overton's going to be a fantastic play. He seems to be super consistent. And I just remember that I can't remember what the match was. Someone might be able to remind me, but he got so fired up and did not like some of the chat that the bowler was throwing at him, and he just went bang, 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 3 after 3. I think it was 3 sixes on the trot, and he scored about 32 off 8 or something. He's got that fire in his belly. He's such a competitor, and he hates losing. When he had the ball in that innings, he was giving plenty of chat as well, and he ran in and took 2 or 3 wickets. So a fired up Jamie Overton is fantastic for GDS point scoring. Boys, don't know how accurate or reliable this news is, but we might have a bit of positive information. MRG's reporting the sun is out on the beach or the bench, not sure. So hopefully not too long until we get a bat flip. But look, we're running out of time here. If we don't have a bat flip in 20 minutes time, boys, I want to talk briefly about the bowler position. We're going to preview the round 2 bowlers that we like shortly. But in terms of Sixers scorchers this evening, there's a couple of really handy bowlers ruled out already. We don't really know the makeup of the 11. Teams could go some different ways and throw some curveballs around without any genuine superstars in that bowling lineup for either team. There's no Jai Richardson, no Kane Richardson for the Sixers. How are we going about picking our 3 bowlers? And really, how are we picking 3 that are definitely going to get a start? You'd hate to pick someone, the toss happens, we can't make any changes, and they're not named in the 11. Any advice there, boys? Still, what do you go first? I need some advice. So what do you got?
I guess for me, and I've talked about him pretty much all preseason, is Marley Beardman's probably going to be the big one. I think he's definitely a lock for the Scorchers.
Yep.
So I think that's an easy one to bring in your side, have Beardman there, and maybe build your bowlers around that. From there, there's plenty of uncertainty. Probably suggest that someone like Joel Paris is probably going to pair with him. I'm just looking at the images coming from Optus Stadium, and it does not look good at all. Howie interviewing Benny Dwarshuis, and yeah, it does not look great indeed. But anyway, so if we do get play, then I think Marley Beardman probably paired with Joel Paris for me. I think Paris, again, he's probably another player that should in that side. The hard part, I think, is going to be that Sixers player that we bring in. I'm a little bit cautious to not play all three Scorchers, and I'd want a Sixers bowler in there. The early word is that Mitch Perry is going to be someone that does make the side, so he's probably my third option there. But yeah, there's obviously that can get tough. The fact that the bait, and we've only got about, like you said, 15 or so minutes to make a decision. It's a tough one there for coaches. Haz, what are you thinking, mate?
Yeah, very similar. I think Beardman's a lock. I think Paris is definitely probably the one to go alongside him, and Mitch Perry if he does get a game as well. I was originally keen on Toddy Murphy, but I don't think so. I think he'll be coming out of my teams now, and I think I'll be playing those three across all three of my teams.
Yeah. Alrighty. Let's jump into the bowlers, and then we might jump back and see if we've got any more information about this first game. So on screen, we have got the bowlers that we're looking at targeting. And again, this is sort of up in the air. I think there's quite a few decent options this round. We've obviously lost a couple of great options, and particularly Tom Rogers has been ruled out with that shoulder injury. And as you were saying, potentially Tom Rogers could miss up to January, I believe you were saying.
Yeah, I read on Cricket Australia's app that he interview with Will Sutherland said that he'll probably be out potentially until early January. So if that's true, it's a big blow for the Gades, and I think it's a big blow for GDS coaches with how good the right Tommy Rogers is.
Yeah, and look, you can see there that we've got Jason Behrendorff in there at the moment, and his All-Star card obviously has his previous colours, but he is a Gades player now, and I think that just means he's going to have a massive season. And on that's going to be one player that I think we target. But other players we're looking at is big Xavier Butland and Shaheen Afridi. Obviously, with the Spencer Johnson news, he's ruled out for the season. I think those two blokes are going to have a big say in how the Heat go for at least the first 4 or 5 rounds. Nathan Ellis, I think, has moved up our rankings quite a lot because of that Spencer Johnson news and the Tom Rogers news. And then also, I think the important Hussein might have a bit of a crack as well. But Stu, do you want to kick us off? Who are you targeting from our bowlers' perspective for round 2?
Yeah, for me, it's Nathan Ellis. No surprise. I think he's our number one consensus now after Spencer Johnson went down. But it's just the consistency that he brings. I don't have the numbers in front of me to back it up, but he doesn't have too many low scores. He goes about getting some wickets, whether it's 1 or 2 per game. He can get a 3 or a 4. And if he needs some runs with the bat, he can produce as well. He puts himself in all the right fielding positions too. But sometimes he's got that dirty look on his face when a fielder drops a catch or misses or doesn't save some easy runs. So he puts himself in the hot spots when it really matters, and he's pretty safe with his hands as well. So for me, it's all the consistency that he brings. He's such a competitor as well. He's pushing for that T20 World Cup spot next a bit of international cricket under his belt already for the Aussies. So he'll want to have another big season with the Hobart Hurricanes and help them to go back to back and push his stakes and claims for that squad. He's one of the best death over bowlers going around, and it's just so difficult to get underneath him and hit him anywhere really, but sometimes to his own detriment, where he can go for 6 or 8 off that second last or last over, which is fantastic, but sometimes without getting a wicket, because it's that wide Yorker or that really slow looping ball that the player plays far too soon and misses, and they might scamper through for a bye or have another dot ball. So we really want a batter going after Ellis in those last couple of overs and just getting caught on the boundary or something. I love the wide Yorker for the Aussies when they're trying to defend a score against India or England or something, but not from Nathan Ellis when he's in my game day squad team. So let's hope he can turn a few more of those tidy over spells into wicket taking spells. And if he goes for an extra 4 or 6, then it's not going to be too much of a bad thing. But yeah, look, super reliable. He's going to be consistent. He'll get wickets, hopefully chip in with the bat, and he's always up and about in the field as well. So pretty easy one for me.
Yeah, that's the thing that sticks out for me is that thing at the end there about him being up and about in the field. We saw so many times he just put his body on the line, probably to his detriment a couple of times,
Yep.
but he always wants to save every single run and, supports the team as much. If that leads to a potential run out opportunity or taking a couple of catches, then it's that really elite three-dimensional player that, is a great option to have, particularly in the bowling lineup. Alrighty, Has, mate, you've got someone pretty special in your player to target, and I think there's some pretty good reasons why.
Yeah, last week in our consensus top 10 bowlers, I mentioned that Behrendorff might be too low in our rankings and that I would play him in the Gade's first game against the Heat in round 2. And that was before Tommy Rogers was ruled out. Now that he is, I think Behrendorff becomes a near must-play this week. So I'm definitely not going back on my word. The venue data tells a compelling story. GMHBA allowed a competition low 22.2 GDS points on average to batsmen last season. In contrast, GMHBA allowed the second most points to bowlers at 44.1 GDS points per game. So it's double the amount of points for bowlers than it is for batters at GMHBA. It's a venue that suits the bowlers to an absolute T, whereas batters consistently struggle to get going. Coming off a career best season, Behrendorff now steps in as that clear lead man for the Gades without Tommy Rogers. Everything about this matchup just screams upside. The role, the venue, and the form line. And I am really glad I have his all-star card.
Yeah. Wind that in as well. Unreal. Great couple of pulls there to be able to then get a Behrendorff all-star. Look, boys, I'm targeting Big X for round 2, and I think he's got a massive couple of weeks in him, I think, especially as the season progresses, and Shaheen Afridi might make his way out of the side, and I think Xavier Bartlett is going to shoulder a lot of responsibility, but I'm particularly targeting him for the game against the Gades to kick off round 2. And look, we spoke about the impact that he should have in the Heat now that Johnson, etc., is out. Nisa is with the Ashes squad, so I think Bartlett's going to have a lot of work to do, and he should take that lead role and have Shaheen Afridi probably that supporting paceman as well. There's also some other shake-ups in that Heat lineup that is quite interesting, that will be interesting to see once they announce their final 11 tomorrow. Look, not only is that team makeup boding well for Bartlett, but venue and opposition stats, again, just adds that to that juicy picture of how good Xavier Bartlett could be. You touched on it there, Has, around HBA, and it's ideal for those fast and medium pace bowlers. Last season, the Quicks, they averaged 41 GDS points at that venue, which topped the average for all bowlers. Add to that the vulnerability that Gage showed to bowlers last season. They allowed an average of 45.8 GDS points, which also topped the averages allowed to bowlers by any team. So that really sets up a great opportunity for Big X to go there, roll the arm over, and potentially 3 or 4 wickets when probably opens the bowling, and as we say, it has those death overs as well, which is just, we say it's junk wickets, but it's a bread and butter for a lot of GDS coaches to get on those death over bowlers so that we can get plenty of points at the end of that. Look, all of those things really point to just Xavier Bartlett having a great game, and he might even be a sneaky pod potentially. Obviously, the moment that we say his name, it's not really, but I think you just have a look at that list of 5 bowlers. You can only pick 3. There's going to be a couple of definite pod opportunities in there with those first 3 games. So I think that's going to be, or the second 3 games, that's going to be super important that you pick the right players. And I think Big X is going to be a great pod.
Yeah, it might come down to, in the Heat of playing, do you play both Big X and Afridi? Like, we spent so many times going back and forth last season, Dill. Do you play X? Do you play Spencer Johnson?
Yeah.
We got it wrong probably 75% of the time. So that we don't have to go through that again, I think there's plenty of opportunity to back both of them in, and hopefully that we like when the Heat sort of maybe bowl first, and that means X and Afridi are sort of going to be guaranteed those late overs, which is definitely going to be handy. And then if the Heat struggle with their top order like they always do, that just means Big X can come out and swing the bat as well. So hopefully a few more cheap runs in that regard too. But yeah, look, it's going to be tough. There are some excellent names on screen there. How do Yeah, how do you turn them into 3? It's going to leave a lot of coaches scratching their heads, that's for sure, but that's what we love.
Yeah, definitely. Look, it is 6:05 Australian Eastern Standard Time. There is 10 minutes till the game is meant to be underway. Obviously, the bat flip's still delayed. Watching the live images from the stadium, it doesn't look like there's going to be much movement at the moment. Having a look at the radar, it probably tells maybe a little bit of a better story, although, again, it is the bomb and who knows what they're doing over there. But potentially clearing around 5 o'clock-ish Perth time. What is that? About at 45 minutes, an hour's time over there. So maybe we might be able to get some play at the back end of the game. And I believe there is definitely a bit of time up our sleeves to be able to get to that. So look, we'll sign off soon. But before we do, we've got some big things to do here, boys, don't we? We've got 3 massive giveaways as well as a couple of other little things as well. So let's jump into some more giveaways. That's what everyone is here for, not just our expert commentary, but also to win some unreal prize. The next pack that we've got up for grabs is a Platt Ali and a Diamond Bartlett, which is going to be massive probably for the next couple of rounds for sure. So let's try and share that screen again. Breaking the stream. Once again, you should be able to see your name on that wheel. And it is a mighty wheel indeed. Just give it a minute to be able to get in the stream.
Alrighty, I think I got it.
Yeah, it's
you got it. Unreal. All right, let's shuffle. Okay, so again, it is Platt Ali and Diamond Bartlett. Good luck, everyone that entered. Again, thank you for all the support. We really do appreciate each and every one of you. And Skipper, there he is, the man Skip.
Well done, Skip.
Make sure you hit us up on Discord for that prize. Alrighty, the second of our Platt Diamond combo. We've got Platt Tom Rogers, the good one. Unfortunately, you might not be able to use him until January, but for better than the wrong Tom Rogers. And then a Diamond Paris as well. It could be ideal if this game does go ahead. So if we can get the winner their prize before this lockout, that would be great. Wheel, let's see who's going to get that Diamond Paris. Skip done the double.
Back to back.
Skip has got both. Good on you, Skip. Well done, mate. So again, make sure you hit us up, Skip, those couple of plats and those diamonds to you. Alrighty, as you said at the top of the show, Stu, we have our seven. So the Fantasy Bros put our heads together and came up with what we think is going to be the team to beat for round 2. So a reminder, this is for round 2. So we've got in the wicketkeeper position, we do have Josh Philippi. The bat, we've got Warner, David, and Bubba. And then our all-rounders, it is that strikers double of Matt Short and Jamie Overton, plus Dwarshus and Owen. I think in our rankings, we're just outside those top 4. And then our bowlers, which all ended up on the same ranking for the Fantasy Bros. So we couldn't split Dorf, Alice, and Bartlett. So we think they're all going to have a pretty big performance. So there is our consensus 11. Feel free to take a screenshot and copy that team as is, and then blame us if it doesn't come up trumps for you. More than happy to take accountability for that.
Yeah, I think just while we've got that on screen.
Alrighty, and then look.
Yeah, just ignore the rarities. There's plenty of gold, silvers, bronze, and platinums on screen. We'll probably try to talk a bit more about strategy when we have a bit more time in terms of the players that we're really going to put some salary on. So, yeah, just because we got Owen highlighted there as a gold doesn't mean we're playing his gold version. If you've got a higher version of say, a Michi Owen, I'd probably look to play him as well. It's more about the player name than the rarity, but probably spend some time in future shows going through a little bit more in terms of speaking about what rarity and who we're looking to target in that regard. But that should just give you a bit of picture as to the guys that are pretty popular amongst the Fantasy Bros in terms of who we're rolling out.
Yeah, definitely. And don't forget as well, we will be dropping our expert consensus ranking. Another coach that is on Discord, Scobie, he has joined us to add his expert insight into the rankings as well, and we'll be dropping that each and every round. For round 2, that will be dropping a little bit later tonight on Instagram. Just hit us up at Fantasy Bros AU to go and check out all those rankings. Alrighty, into everyone's favourite part of the show, I reckon. Look, it's been a while, but it is back. Bro Down Showdown, where the 3 fantasy bros go head-to-head to who is the superior bro. Stu and I did it for the rugby league. I think he absolutely hammered home his victory. I do not remember what the final score was, but I think I needed about was triple points or something to be able to even get close. Anyway, look, not only does it give everyone in our amazing community a chance to win some real prizes, we get to have a bit of fun and a bit of banter as well. For every live show, we will be assigned a position from the bat, wicketkeeper, all-rounder, and bowling options, and then we'll pick our top player in that position. So look, off screen, we did spin the wheel already so that we could, across those positions, whoever we pick, the highest score wins the Bro Down Showdown. So the best comment who you think will win, and if you are right, you will be in with a shot to win some awesome cards. I think for the first 4 shows, we've got a couple of rares, and then the 5th show we have a unique. So every 5th show we'll have a couple of unique packs to open as well. Obviously, if multiple people pick the correct bro, then we'll put you on the wheel and we'll find a winner. So there's plenty of opportunities to win more cards. So off stream we spun, and you were under position, and of course you went with. You can see that beautiful all-star map there that the GDS boys have for giveaway as well. If you head over to X, post your teams using the new the team share option, and tag the whole different tags. I think it's Tennessee Supercoach and BBL 15. You use those hashtags and make sure Game Day squad on X. You can go in the draw to win that awesome match short all-star. Stu, you got the wicketkeeper bat position. You're running with Cooper Conley, the cheat code, and they got the bowler. So I am, of course, backing the call him bowler. Excuse me, Big X Xavier Bartlett. So once again, make sure that you comment either on stream or once we finish the stream. You can check us out on YouTube or Spotify. Who you think is going to win the Bro Down Showdown. Then round 3, we will draw the winner there to win some unreal cards. Boys, do you want to have a quick chat about some of your selections before we finish up?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just looking at the terms and conditions for Bro Down Showdown. It does say that we're permitted to change our players up until the lockout of the first round, and it's not yet 6:14. So I think with the weather around, I know I've got Cooper Conley on screen, and people are probably going to see that and not vote for me because Cooper Conley is there and he might not get a game. Look, he might get a game and go ballistic. I'm going to quickly pivot to Timmy David. I've talked about him all week. It only feels right. Is that okay for you two? Like, say no if it's not, but I'm just looking at the terms and conditions and it seems above board. So let me know.
Nah, fair game. Play on.
Thanks, man.
Well, I was just going to mention that as you were talking, it did tick over to 6:14, but I'm just checking. There's still 30 seconds on the lockout timer on Game Day squad, so you actually made it just in time. So now Stu's new pick is Timmy David. So make sure you comment who you think is going to win our Bro Down Showdown. Has for Matt Short, Timmy David for Stu, or Dill with Xavier Bartlett, and you'll be in with a shot. And it looks like just one comment so far, and that is NRL going with Dill. Thank you very much. Alrighty, not much time left. We're about to get off stream. Who knows what's going to happen with this weather? Let's hope that squads have been locked officially now on the Game Day squad app and website. So fingers crossed we get a bit of action. But, of course, there's one thing left to do, boys. And the biggest one of all, it is the Maxwell All-Star. And who would have thought that I could pull an All-Star on stream? But Fantasy Bros have done it quite a bit today. So unreal work. Alrighty, let's bring that wheel up one more time. Everyone crossing their fingers and toes. Let's get it. I'm going to make sure I shuffle the board again for this wheel before we spin it. So, boys, once it's on screen for you, let me know, and I will shuffle live.
Yeah, on screen for me.
Yeah.
Unreal. Alrighty. Good luck, everyone. Hopefully,
to be in the
you
stream
have
to
an
win it.
opportunity to win this. That would be great, but no, you do not. You do not have to be in stream. Just before I spin this wheel, you are getting a number of votes for Bro Down Showdown. Looking like everyone is loving you this week. Good on you, mate.
Geez, no pressure whatsoever.
I think it has had a late change as well, didn't it?
One debut to take it out. No, we'll see.
Actually, Dill, you changed your player too. We all changed our players.
All three of us. News broke. All three of us changed.
Yeah.
Alrighty, let's without further ado, let's spin this wheel. You've been waiting all night for, of course, the Glenn Maxwell All-Star. Here we go. Good luck, everyone. And it is drum raise 2487. Congratulations. Make sure that you hit us up either or Discord so that we can post that trade there for you for the Glenn Maxwell All-Star.
Well done, mate.
Done.
Do we know who Jays is, boys?
I do not.
No, I really hope it's not Prison Mike.
You and me both.
Did I say that out loud? Did I say that? Boys, before we finish up, before we talk about our next show, any final words heading into this round or round two? Stu, do you want to take us?
Yeah, look, disappointing start to the season. Let's hope this isn't a sign of things to come. I think we had a long off season between the rugby league and the Aussie rules. We're itching for this game, for this round, double prize round, only for the weather, Mother Nature to turn against us. Fingers crossed we still get a bit of game, but it's just going to make tomorrow's round two even sweeter. So might have to put things on ice for another 24 hours, people, but it just means you've got 24 more hours to get back over to our YouTube channel. That's at Fantasy Bros AU. You'll be able to catch up on all of our team previews, as well as our rankings for the bat, wicketkeeper, all-rounder, and bowler positions. So you can make sure you pack out your round two team and make sure you put your name in the ring for plenty of prizes available starting tomorrow. Still fingers crossed. Doesn't look that good, but yeah, I'm already starting to think about round two, boys.
Yeah. Don't forget to make sure you clear your sides before round two starts tomorrow. Don't want to roll over round one again. Short turnaround, so making sure we fix up those teams and lock in those players that aren't just sixes and scorchers for round two starting tomorrow. And as always, go the mighty Heat.
Anya, and look, just a reminder as well, Cal has put it in Discord, but if this round is rained out, all prizes, including the fact that it is a double prize round, they go to the end of the tournament into round 17's prize pool. So we do not miss out on the unreal prizes that Game Day Squad have put up. And again, as well, reminder that doesn't matter whether the bat flip has been delayed or not, lockout will remain at the same time each and every round. So as that lockout has happened, it means your squad is now set, whatever the case may be for the game going ahead or not. So good luck, everyone. Hopefully we do get a bit of cricket at least, and we might get some GDS scores on the board to start off our season. If not, good luck for round two. Boys, it's been an absolute pleasure live in front of the camera and getting to interact with an awesome community that we have. So thank you to everyone for joining us and supporting us as always. We're looking forward to round three, which is coming to you Thursday, December 18 at 5:15 Australian Eastern Standard Time. So make sure that you head to our YouTube channel to make sure you are following, subscribing, etc. And as I said, we'll be putting our rankings up on Instagram and X for round two as well. Boys, good luck for the season. Thank you very much. Take it easy.
Good luck, everyone. Thanks.